Hi, students and teachers. Brad Philpott here with a little video on the individual oral. And today I want to focus on outlines. What makes an outline effective for you as you perform in this exam? We're going to look at a few examples of outlines and try to learn some lessons from those. But before we do that, let's make sure we're on the same page with the rules. So there is an IO form that you need to complete and bring to the exam room. It should not be annotated. There should be no highlighting on this, no color coding. And there are 3 boxes on this form. The first one there is for your global issue. You can write it out in a complete sentence if you want, or sentences. The works are listed in the second box, literary and non-literary. You can put the name of the author there, the extract, the page number, the year of publication. All of those things are fine. So let's talk about that middle box, the big box that includes 10 bullet points and no more than 10 bullet points. How long is a bullet point? We'll find out when we look at some of these examples here. But use your common sense here, professional judgment. You need to write an outline that works for you. So at the end of the day, this outline is not sent to the IB, even if your script is called upon for moderation. Let's look at an example. Here is a snippet from an outline. It's just 2 bullet points, but they are far too long, I would say. And she's used 2 bullet points for an introduction, which I think is about 1 bullet point too many. And in the first bullet point, she's reiterated the global issue, which is unnecessary because it's already at the top of the page. In the second bullet point, she's essentially written a thesis statement, which is fine and a good idea, but you don't need to list all of your authorial choices because those are later in the outline anyways. Repetition, diction, allusion, juxtaposition, mise en scène, all of those points she explores later, and they're there on the page for her. So when I say you should have a thesis statement, what's the main argument that the authors of the works are making? Lizzo suggests that women can be powerful by being who they are. The Always campaign questions gender stereotypes, right? Those are the arguments that you're going to be proving throughout this oral, and she does a pretty good job doing that, honestly. The second IO, outline snippet, number 2 here, is really a series of stepping stones. Each phrase helps the students move from idea to idea, and it's a good oral. I recommend you listen to it. It's about a man called Ove and Banksy, and it's on my support site. The students only written down the words corruption within institutions, arrow, leads to lack of morality, / quote, just doing their job, unquote, / easily help someone, and so on and so forth. I dare say the 2 bullet points could have been folded into 1. I know this is his introduction. He mentions his global issue in that introduction. He makes an argument, and these are the only words he needs to use to do that effectively. So that's good to see. The third example is also a little too long. It is a good oral, and I've color-coded it, even though you're not supposed to, because I'd like to show you that the student is doing PEL, right? Point, evidence, explain, link. PEL. That's a structure I explain in another video called How to Analyze Both the Extract and the Work. I recommend checking it out. But do you need to put all of it into a bullet point? I don't know. It's a bit much, and he's got examples there in pink from both the poem Elm by Sylvia Plath that's in front of him, and he's got examples from another poem called Tulips that's outside the extract. And even then, it's only a short quote, to red. That's all we see. And he's put a lot of analysis in yellow in here, and I would hope that the analysis is up there. He's got some really interesting adjectives and adverbs, powerful, evocative, despair, futility, that I understand he's going to need to use in his performance. But something else is happening here that's a little concerning. If you look at the last sentence, vib juxt stir, hospital, out, o, pull, disc, I don't know what that means. I don't think you do either. It makes sense to him because those are abbreviations to a script that he seems to have memorized. And if that's alarming, check out this next outline where a student has taken that to an extreme. ELW, extract from literary work, representing, word, fam, emp, ric, and fam. I don't know what this means. The student does. He delivers a pretty good performance. I think it could have been better if he hadn't been over-rehearsing a script and memorizing a script in his brain and trying to regurgitate that at the moment of this performance. So if I remember right, he scored about a 5 on a scale of 1 to 7 on this individual oral. And I think this memorizing of a script got in his way. I dare say it's not good practice. So this last example, interestingly, does use some abbreviations. It's got Peel, but it's kind of a sweet spot on a lot of these things. Her topics, and again, I've color-coded them so you can see them. Her topics revolve around authorial choices, pronouns, metaphors, etc. She connects those to the global issue, justice, diversity. All right, that's interesting. That's cool. She's abbreviated some words from the quotations, though she's got the quotations from the extract right in front of her anyways. There's a lot of pink here. Those are quotes. So it's heavy on quotes, and I recommend using the I/O outline as kind of a quote machine, if you will. Not a lot of interpretation, analysis, explanation. I see words like meaningless, resilience, embracing identity. Those are nice ideas, but when you listen to her performance, clearly she has a lot of that up there, and she does a very, very good job on that. So let's just take a step back and reflect on some of these key lessons we've learned from these outlines. Most students are delivering on PEL, right, in their performances. That's why a lot of these examples are getting good marks. But are they putting all of PEL into their outline? Not necessarily. The bullet points are simply acting as like a trigger or stepping stones for them to get from example to example, right, and analysis to analysis, and global issue to global issue. So lots of quotes, lots of examples, lots of references, also from outside the extract. That's what I would recommend. Less is more, generally speaking. Avoid a script situation. You have to ask yourself if it's even ethical for students who don't have scripts in front of them. It's understandable if you sound a little bit rehearsed, but try not to sound like it's overly rehearsed or highly scripted. So do what works for you. Practice with note cards if you have to. Practice with a member of your family or a friend, and get some feedback. Make sure it's really up here, that you feel like it's a solid performance when you're delivering it there, and that the outline is simply a guiding light for you, allowing you to step from stepping stone to stepping stone. If you would like to hear some of the examples on which these outlines are based, check out my support site. I've got lots of examples there, lots of samples of I/Os. I have worksheets on how to write an outline, how to structure your I/O, how to write a good global issue, all of that. So I look forward to seeing you on the platform. Take care and all of the best.